Welcome back to another episode of Lasting Legacies. I'm your host, Evan Herman, and here's my other co-host, Stephen Gunn. Who do we have today?
Well, Evan, it's really a treat, actually. We've got Shannon Wilburn, who is the CEO and co-founder of Just Between Friends. For those who don't know, Just Between Friends is a local-based pop-up consignment company. So they have franchises, and they've really made a difference in communities and families just like you and me.
It's like a mega garage sale for children's stuff that is anywhere from 50 to 90% off.
It's outstanding.
And you can sell stuff there ahead of time, or you can go there and shop like we do and save a lot of money.
Come back after the break, we get to hear from Shannon.
This program is made possible by the generous support of OklahomaBanner.com. Oklahoma Banner is a locally owned company providing custom-designed full-color banners shipped directly to you. They offer a wide variety of banner products. Visit OklahomaBanner.com today.
It's been said that life is about capturing moments, so I encourage you to capture this moment right here and take a picture of my contact information to reach out to me later. It is most important when you find a real estate agent to find one with the ability to communicate with all involved, knowledgeable about the real estate market, and one's ability to negotiate contracts. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home within the next year, reach out to me. I'd love to see how I can help you reach your goals. Thank you so much. And we're back. I wanted to introduce to you our good friend, Shannon Wilburn.
Hello.
Shannon, I got a question for you, and I know you, but maybe some of them don't know you.
Okay.
So here's the question.
Okay.
Who are you? What are you doing right now? Tell us about yourself.
I'm a nobody, that's for sure. No, my name is Shannon Wilburn, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Just Between Friends.
And what do they do? Because I want people to know.
We're among friends, it's between friends.
Just between us.
Just between us.
And no one else.
Okay.
What do you do?
So Just Between Friends is a twice yearly kind of a pop-up children's and maternity consignment event. So we don't have brick and mortar locations. Our franchisees are basically event planners, and they plan a large scale event. So think about the Tulsa Fairgrounds is one of our franchises.
Okay.
And we host an event where we set up a temporary pop-up store. And it's for gently used children's and maternity clothes, toys, and baby equipment.
Now, you're the CEO and co-founder of Just
Right.
Between Friends, correct?
Right, uh-huh.
Okay. I know I personally love you, and so does my wife, because we save so much money.
Yeah, no
Like,
kidding. We're in the same category.
Yeah, because it's consignment,
Yeah.
we
Right.
save 50 to 90% off retail.
Absolutely.
And it's families
It's such a
that are
great deal.
participating.
Absolutely.
Right.
So
Absolutely. So with that, obviously, your organization, Just Between Friends, it really feels a kind of a niche impact in making a difference in the community.
Yeah.
For those maybe who are looking to start a company, start an organization, or even start some sort of cause in the community, what would you kind of recommend them to, like, how did you go about doing that? And what recommendations you could?
So, I have an elementary education degree, so I don't have a business degree. And the company, thankfully, started in 1997, years ago, when my children were 1 and 2. And it really started as a need that I had and that my co-founder Devin had. We had little kids, and like you guys have, and we needed a way to clothe our children.
Right.
And this was not some big idea that we were going to then franchise, which is what has happened.
Sure.
But it was just, we had a need.
Yeah.
And so we looked for a way to fill it. And actually, I had grown up shopping consignments.
Okay.
And my dad was disabled at the age of 33. I was 12 when he was disabled. My twin sister and I were automatically put on a clothing budget.
Yes.
And as we were entering our teen years, and he said, you have this amount of money to spend, and we had to really stretch our dollar. So that's how I learned about consignment. And then when I married a youth minister, I knew that this was not a vow of poverty, but we weren't going to be making a lot of money. So, and I wanted to stay home with the children. And my co-founder as well. She and her husband talked about staying home, and so we just, like every other American family, we had to find a way to save money. And this was actually an idea that my mom had had. She said she had been to an event in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and said, Shannon, you need to start this. And I was like, okay, that sounds like a lot of work. But we convinced 17 of our friends here in Tulsa from our church to consign with us at the first sale in my living room back again in 1997.
Wow.
And we didn't know, again, that it was going to grow to what it has become, but Tulsa really embraced it. And so every 6 months, we went from my living room to a 3-car garage in South Tulsa, to a church in South Tulsa, and then to the fairgrounds in 2000. Oh, wow. Continued to grow that. And again, just based out of a need that we personally had, and apparently everyone else in Tulsa at the time had that exact same need. We need to save money. So that's kind of how we started. And then we franchised in 2003.
So I want to key in on something that you said. If you're looking to leave a difference in the community or make an impact, you got to go where the need is. And what allowed you to find that need is because it was a need in your life. And that's so important that when we look in our own lives and the needs that we have, chances are other people have those same needs. So if you can figure out how to fill in the gap in your own life, maybe you can.
I call myself an accidental entrepreneur because I don't feel like I'm not one of those people who has idea after idea after idea. I have lots of people in my life who like to give me ideas and see, if this is something that I can do or we can add to the franchise system. So there's a lot of smart people and lots of very entrepreneurial people within my company, but I don't feel like that's necessarily me. It's just totally the Lord helped me put one foot in front of the other, and we were able to make it work, and the people of Tulsa just really embraced it, so that helped.
Well, that's a great segue. We're actually going to go right to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
This program is made possible by the generous support of the Demand Project, a nonprofit organization fighting to eradicate sex trafficking and the sexual exploitation of children. To find out how you can help, please visit thedemandproject.org today.
Could your business or organization benefit from TV advertising? KGEB Tulsa TV 53 broadcasts from the campus of Oral Roberts University and reaches the greater Tulsa metro. Contact us for more info at 918-488-5300.
And we're back with Lasting Legacies. I'm Stephen Gumm, my co-host Evan Herman.
Hi.
Glad to be here. And our guest today is Shannon Wilburn. We're so glad to have you.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Personal experiences, we've obviously both had a chance to have our families benefit from your organization, and we're so thankful to get the time to have it together. And I think Evan had a kind of a personal experience question as well.
Yeah, I did. Well, we've gotten to know each other, I feel like, a little bit better over the past month and a half.
Right.
As you've actually helped my family.
We ran into each other at the mall.
We did.
Oh, wow.
We did. And I was like, hey, I know you.
Really, it's a small, big city, I tell you.
It is. And it's why we're getting our computer and phone worked out. Anyway.
That's right.
So, Shannon, since then, though, you've actually really impacted my family directly just with some coaching. And so, for starters, my wife is extremely grateful and appreciative because you've given her such sound wisdom and advice when it comes to her job and vocation and growing. And for women in the workplace, what advice would you give them to, what's the word I want to use? I think excel and stand out, because you've done so good at coaching my wife.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. What advice would you have for women in the workplace?
I will tell you, because I don't have necessarily a specific topic, I love to give advice.
Right.
So, I love to give advice. Ask my kids. But I think specifically for women in the workplace, if I think about my own franchisees, we have about 150 locations in 30 states, and so I've got 160 something owners, and probably 99% of them are women. And so if I think to that and think about my own team for the franchise system, which is mostly women on my team, if you can be a team player, that's huge. No one likes to be around complainers. So if you can think about ways to solve a problem before you complain about it, that's really, I think that's a definite growth, for your own mental health. Is before I complain about something, let's see, can I affect this in a positive way for good, So someone who's positive is, great to be around. I think it's smart to have mentors. And I mentor several people, but I have been mentored by several people, and still am mentored by several people. So having someone who can speak into you, maybe someone who's like-minded, but maybe has gone before you, if you can have someone in your life like that, and not necessarily in an overbearing way or anything like that, but just someone to run things by. So I think that's kind of maybe where I have helped you, your wife, and then I'm thinking of some others. So I guess from that perspective, that's what I would say.
That would be really nice. Good.
Yeah.
So for those who maybe they are the CEOs of their home, as they, that's your reason for what you did and launched everything. What kind of advice? Because I know sometimes that can be, unfortunately, in community can be looked differently upon.
Yeah, I think that's
and yet
changing.
It is.
I really
and I love
do.
that.
I really do
love
think
that.
that's changing.
But I know there's those who are watching, this program that are going to see that, and they're a full CEO of a 4 to 5 kid household. They're running everything, and it's like, okay, help me.
So I have an identical twin sister.
Okay.
And my sister and I both have an elementary education degree. I taught for 1.5 years. She taught for about 4 years. And then I, started Just Between Friends with my co-founder, Devin Tackett. And my twin sister, who lives in the Dallas area, decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And she did run a Just Between Friends in the early years, but she found that every time the event came around, it was taking her focus off of her family. And that's really where she wanted her focus to be.
That's good.
And so she's also a pastor's wife, which is really weird, twins who both married pastors. But it's worked out for both of us. So, but she has not worked outside the home in a paid role in a long time. Yeah. But she works harder than me, and I remember when, thinking back to like when I was a stay-at-home mom and not necessarily working outside the home, and that I was like, it is so much harder than working outside the home because your work is never done. You don't get to turn the light off and leave the office. You are there 24/7, and raising humans, and humans can be hard and difficult, and relationships can be hard, and all the work and effort that goes into that. But it's no regrets. And I know being a stay-at-home mom is not for everyone, and I know being a career, someone in the career force is not for everyone. So I'm thankful that we have both and can learn from both.
That's good. That's good. That's a great time. We're going to go take a moment to just hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Lasting Legacies here by YBT.
Hi, my name is Matt Moore, president of the Young Businessmen of Tulsa. I pray that this program is a blessing to you and that it inspires you to grow in both your business and personal life. Did you know that many people, both young and old, hold a mentality that their success is all about them? When in reality, we know that our success is dependent on how well we can serve and meet the needs of others. Owning a business is a huge responsibility, and success is very important for not only you, but also your employees and your community. If our community is going to continue to thrive, we need to be proactive in promoting a business community that's focused on being excellent stewards in all areas of life so we can create lasting legacies. Today, we have a fantastic opportunity in front of us that could really take our city and community to the next level. Each program we air has the potential to reach over 1 million households. But in order to do this, we need to reach an extra $1,600 in monthly reoccurring giving. YBT is looking for 2 types of partners, those who can pledge $9 a month and those who can pledge $19 a month. Not only will we continue to share our Christ-centered message, but in order to keep with the spirit of YBT, a portion of each monthly pledge that you give will benefit our monthly Pay It Forward projects in order to help give back to our city. If you decide to pledge $19 a month, we will have your name scroll at the bottom of the screen on each program as a proud supporter. Every pledge is a tax-deductible donation. Will you help me make a bigger difference in our city? YBT has a track record of creating better leaders, and we have raised well over $145,000 for community projects since our conception. Join us as a co-producer as we take this message and program across the airwaves. Help us steward a message that will literally change people's lives forever. To make your pledge, please visit www.patreon.com/YBT.
And we're back with Lasting Legacies. So glad to have you here with us again. And Shannon, thanks again for coming.
Sure.
One of the things you mentioned it earlier, that being an education background, but having mentors in your life.
Right.
From a business minded, was there any kind of strategies and things that you were able to speak into your life in the way that this Just Between Friends grew
Yeah,
to
sure.
make it the success it is?
So I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Just Between Friends would not be a franchise concept. We would not, be in 30 states. We would not have 150 franchises
Yes.
if not for mentors.
Yes.
So that is a huge thing that has happened in my life and my business life, is that people have really spoken into me. And in fact, that's one of the things that I share with people when I do speak, is to surround yourself with smart people. And the first person who really spoke into my life is still on my executive board.
That's great.
Yeah, so her name is Diane Davis, and she had a lot of corporate experience, and I sold advertising in the early years of Just Between Friends because it's a part-time supplemental income business, and I still needed to make a little bit of extra money. And so I had clients with the magazine Community Spirit, and she was one of my clients. She was the marketing director at the DoubleTree at the time, and so I would go out to lunch with her about once a quarter, and she would hear about Just Between Friends when it would come around, and so she did just a fabulous job in marketing because that was her world.
Yeah.
And so she asked me a question. She said, Shannon, what do you do for press releases? And I said, what's a press release? She was like, wait, you're not doing press releases? And I'm like, no. She said, you know that media doesn't know about your business unless you tell them about your business. I was like, I didn't know how that worked. And elementary education did not teach me about marketing.
Yeah.
So she said, well, come to my house on Saturday and I'm going to show you what a press release looks like. I'll help you write your first press release. She gave me back really when the internet was getting started, like most news stations didn't have a presence online yet. And so she had a list of all the local people in town. So that was kind of one of those things. And so because I didn't have a business background, she really was the first person who spoke into me.
Wonderful.
Specifically marketing.
Yeah.
But most recently, 21 years later, we actually started an advisory board for our franchise system. So we've kind of got to the level with our current people where we were like, okay, we've reached the pinnacle of our knowledge. We need some help. And so I knew we needed someone who could help us with financial aspects of running a franchise system, someone who could help us with technology. I needed someone to help me with strategy, and then we've got someone who's just so much experience in franchising. So I've got 4 gentlemen that we put on an advisory board that help myself and my executive team really with questions that we don't, things that keep us up at night. How do we handle this? And there are things in any business, really any role. If you're a parent, you have to look for those. You have to look for those people who've gone before you. We don't want to make the same mistakes as other people. Let's cut through that and let's ask good questions and be able to not have to make those mistakes again.
I was going to say, that actually makes me think of, so not only, what I heard you say is not only did you have put people in place around you at the administrative and the directive level of the organization, but outside of that, having kind of an outside body, outside group to speak into. And I think that's so crucial in churches but yeah, go ahead. You follow up.
I want to use several examples here. One, he's lost a tremendous amount of weight, okay? Like great job. How much weight, let's tell our audience real quick, how much weight have you lost?
Over 50 pounds.
Wow.
Okay, within the last 6 months.
Since September 1st.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, he had a coach to help him do that.
That's right.
I have a business coach. And I'm wanting to stay, I want to lose weight too, so I have a trainer to help me. You can pay for mentoring, but if you don't have the ability to go out in the specific niche that you need to pay for it, what advice would you give to our listeners about how to go about getting a mentor?
I think it's, I am a mentor in several situations, as I mentioned earlier, and I don't get paid. So I think you find someone who you look to see what the problems are, the situations or issues that you're dealing with for you losing weight or whatever, and find someone who is succeeding in that. And if they are succeeding, there's a likelihood, there's knowledge
Right.
and expertise and experience that they have to share. And so I think it's totally appropriate to reach out to them and say, hey, you've heard this term, pick your brain. I like to pick your brain. I like to say that that's kind of off-putting, and say, you can say, I'd like to tap into your excellence. Because that makes people feel like, oh, they want my knowledge.
Right.
And so just reaching out, and I think, a coffee, a phone call, a lunch, something like that. But asking someone to be the mentor, it's very, you feel a lot of pressure. Like, wow, what do I have to give? But just, you don't even have to call it a mentor. You can just say, hey, I'm having this challenge. What can you,
Right.
Do you have any advice?
One of the things too, and from a mentee perspective, I've noticed when I've asked mentors in my life previously, like I have nothing to offer them, so it feels very like a one-sided relationship, and I almost feel bad to ask. So for our viewers, don't feel bad to ask.
Correct.
The thing that, from my understanding, from being on this journey a lot, the thing that the mentor wants the most, like the way that you can encourage them the most when they mentor you, is you having success.
Right.
Like their reward is your success.
Right.
So I just wanted to say
100%.
Say that.
That's
and like
good.
lots of the people that I have worked with in the past or something, you want to continue working with them if they are actually doing the things that you're suggesting.
Yes,
So if you're making suggestions and they're not really following through on them, then sometimes it feels like, oh, I don't know that they really want my advice, or maybe they want it, they just don't know how to execute.
They just want the knowledge.
So and so going through and following up with whoever's giving you the advice, saying, "Hey, I did this." I mean, it's very fulfilling at that level.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be right back with Shannon here on our next question. Thank you so much.
Are you looking to get married? Suit Connection is having an awesome wedding special. Buy 4 suits or tuxedos at $200 or more and receive free dress shirts and ties. Search for them on Facebook by typing Suit Connection Tulsa or stop by at 61st and Sheridan in Tulsa.
Do you suffer with migraines, seizures, neuropathy, dementia, or movement disorders? Discover an independent concierge neurology practice with treatment from a Christian perspective by Dr. George Gonzalez.
And we're back with Lasting Legacies. I'm Stephen Gunn. I'm co-host Evan Herman. Our guest today, Shannon Wilburn. So glad to have you. Hello again.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's come in for the close here. It's been such a great time. So you've discussed your organization really has made an impact on lives of those in the community, and the opportunity you've given to families to have that kind of a price point.
Right.
Making and saving money. Access, saving money. Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that, all that included, what do you really want your legacy in life to be for you?
It's a deep question.
Yes.
I knew we were going to talk about legacy because the name of the show here.
Sure.
And, it's not really, I haven't really thought about how do I want to be remembered, because it's not, I don't really think about those things. I want people to see Jesus in me.
Yeah.
Right.
And I want that to be a legacy for my family, for my friends, for even people who don't necessarily know me personally, just know of me. Like, I would love for that to be something that they remember me.
Right.
If they remember me, and if that even matters. But, I think for something I'm really proud of is, and not something that I necessarily had a strategic part in, is what the company is doing as far as leaving a legacy.
Yes.
Because our concept is about saving money and making money, and families get to buy things at 50 to 90% off, and families who are selling those items get to make 60 to 70% on whatever they're selling.
Right, which is amazing.
There's one aspect that we haven't talked about, and that's the giving back aspect of
great.
Just Between Friends. And it wasn't, again, a strategic decision early on. It was like, well, wait, we have items at the end of the event. What do we do with these items?
Yeah.
Well, we can donate those items.
Wonderful.
So part of our concept is actually a giving back portion.
That's wonderful.
And so at the end of the event, families, if you guys participate in a Just Between Friends event, you can choose individually per item if you want to donate it. If it's unsold, you can say, if everything that's left, go ahead and donate it. So every franchise partners with a nonprofit, a local nonprofit.
That's cool.
Great.
And because, we've just completed 2018,
Right.
I was able to look at the numbers. We have our annual conference
Okay.
this next week, and this is something that we talk about. Our franchisees and the families that
Yes.
participated
Yes.
Donated $7.6 million worth of
Wow.
in-kind donations in
Praise
2018. And that, if you
That is
think about that, that's at 50 to 90% off retail.
Yeah.
So an
Right.
average of $4 to $5 per item.
Yes.
It's like 1.8 million items that were
Yes.
donated.
Wow.
Wow.
So retail, that would probably be, I don't know, close to 20 or 30 million
times that,
dollars.
yeah.
Easily. And
Wow.
so it makes me really proud to be an example to our franchisees, and our franchisees then get to be an
Right.
example to their community of, hey, if you don't sell all your items, we'd love for you to donate them to this charity here locally.
That's
so
great. That is great.
So to follow up with,
Yep.
with that, 2 questions.
Yeah.
One, how can other people leave a legacy? And then my last question for you is, what can we do for you and Just Between Friends?
These are good questions. Probably with leaving a legacy, I think it's personal. I mean, because your legacy is going to look different from your legacy,
Right.
and it's really what's important to you. Some people might think, I want to leave a legacy for my family as far as a financial legacy. I think that's what we
Right.
think about a lot, but you can also leave a legacy in the way that you treat your wife, the way you love people,
Come on.
and because that's something.
Thank you. Amen.
That's funny. I think it's going to be really different. Maybe your legacy is you want to write a book,
Right. Yep.
and have your story told for generations. So I think it's going to look different for everyone.
Right.
And if you would have asked me 20 years ago what my legacy was, this would not have been
Right.
part of it. So
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to change, especially as you age.
Right.
You think about things are specifically important.
Right.
The older you get, they become more important, and what you want your kids to know about you, etc.
Yeah.
So that's probably the legacy part of it. As far as what you guys can do for Just Between Friends, just share about it, because it really is a good thing for families. Anyone who participates in our event, we hope that they actually leave our event better than when they came in,
Right.
Good.
because they're happy that they made money, they saved money, they made new friends. I mean, these are large scale events. So we're talking, the Tulsa Fairgrounds is my co-founder Devin and her husband Paul own that, and it's a ministry. It really is. Our
Right.
franchisees are not getting rich off this business. I'm not getting rich off this business, but it's definitely a passion for most of our franchisees, because they know the community aspect of it and how it helps so many people.
That's
Awesome.
great. That's
So
great.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for tuning in to another edition of Lasting Legacies, and go to ybtok.org for more information, to find out about our luncheons monthly. Come and visit us, be a guest. Amazing food, great friends.
Yes.
And we hope to see you next broadcast, as well as next time on YBT Lasting Legacies. Have a great day.